Story number one that makes me very happy. Xbox continues its push beyond consoles. With new ad campaign. This comes from Tom Warren at The Verge. There is a trailer that goes along with this. Barrett, I would like to play the trailer, but we should definitely mute it because we will get got.
Which song is it?
It's the You Can Get With This or You Can Get With That.
Do you want me to sing it? Or would that also get us dinged? I think
that should be fine.
I can generalize it if you want.
All right, let's try it. Barrett, do you want to pull up the video? Greg, you ready?
Yeah. Count me in.
I mean, it's already going.
You got a thing over there, a thing over there. And guess what? You have a lot of hair and things over here. And now you got the thing. And then you're in the outside playing with the stuff. And this is the thing, and it's over there. This is fair use, and that's over there.
Do you
you're
know
in the
song?
coffee shop, you're doing nothing there. Well, yeah, but I have to, like, fair use it. Like, I have to generalize it. Like, where we
this
want to
is
get
like
sued.
beyond fair use. This is just like we're in a different, like, planet. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm just saying, if I sang it perfectly, what would happen?
We would get struck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A risk I'm willing to take.
What's the thing we got struck for the other day I had to share money with for somebody?
Rockin' Robin.
Rockin' Robin.
Dude. You played it for fucking 10 seconds.
Twice.
Microsoft has been trying to expand Xbox to multiple devices for more than 5 years now. And now it's launching a marketing campaign to make it very clear that it thinks every screen is an Xbox now. A new, quote, this is an Xbox campaign is launching today to position the Xbox brand as a way to play games across multiple devices instead of just an Xbox console. This is an Xbox invites people to play with Xbox across multiple devices and screens, explains Craig McNary, Senior Director of Xbox Marketing. It showcases the evolution of Xbox as a platform that extends across devices with bold, iconic, fun visuals and a lighthearted tone. Microsoft has created a series of ads that will appear online, on digital billboards, and even on the sides of buses. Even on the sides of buses. That are designed to make it clear that laptops, TVs, handheld gaming PCs, and even VR headsets can now be considered an Xbox. It's the latest step in Microsoft's ongoing gaming strategy to reach players beyond the Xbox console, something that started with the introduction of Xbox Cloud Gaming more than 6 years ago. You can see they have, in addition to that trailer, there's a commercial.
This is a cat box.
They have a bunch of imagery as well for marketing purposes for this campaign.
Who calls it a cat box?
Yeah, litter box. But you understand, I mean.
Yeah.
They don't want to put litter
we
on
all
a poster.
get it. Yeah,
So,
they don't want you
so they
thinking,
launched this today?
Yeah.
Is the whole thing, you know, I got a tease of this early yesterday.
Oh.
This was already at a bus stop. This is an Xbox for your lap, was one that I saw yesterday. And I saw it for a second. I was like, huh, that's weird. Because, like,
broken embargo.
I was going to say, Bear, like, come on, be a journalist.
I mean,
the news happened in front of you.
I didn't think anything
I
of
saw a
it
dog running down the street today. I just reported it. As journalism. You know what I mean? I called 911 the other night because there was a tree on fire over by SF State.
Whoa. Damn.
Good
Citizen
Samaritan.
Journal. I'll narc on everybody. Except that
Trees.
dog. That dog, I was like, go get him.
The only thing it made me think of was like, oh, it reminds me of like a lot of like the ads that we see around SF that definitely feel like they were generated by like AI and don't really make a lot of sense. So that's why I didn't really think anything of it. So I'm sorry. I failed as a journalist yesterday.
It's okay.
That's why I'm not the #1 games journalist.
It's true.
There's always next time, Barrett. I love this. In addition to this, there's also merch line that they dropped with this, where you can get a shirt that says "I am an Xbox" or "I'm not an Xbox," and I do love the commitment to that. You can see it here.
Fuck, send me the link right now. I'm buying it.
Which one are you getting?
This isn't.
This is not an Xbox, or this is an Xbox.
I like this as an Xbox because then people will push my buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to know where Greg's buttons are.
Oh, you already know everybody.
But yeah, so they have fun with this and whatever. Cool. I want to commend them for this because I think that this is a much needed and simple but brilliant line of marketing for them for where Xbox currently are at and what I think that they need to achieve, which is educating people that do not talk about video games every day.
Yep.
That you don't need an actual Xbox to be able to play Xbox games.
Do you think it's clear enough?
I think that over time, to Barrett's point, when you see one out of context, it's a little weird. But when you start to see, if that commercial plays during
NFL
football games,
yep.
and then you start to see the one-off things, I do think that is the education process that Xbox have really been missing in the last couple of years. And I always use this example, but my core group of friends that I grew up with that really love video games and aren't nearly as dialed in as I am, but they play the Call of Duties, they play Halo, they care about this stuff. They want to play Halo, but they went PS5. And they every once in a while they'll see some TikTok or something that's like, oh, all the Xbox games are coming everywhere, and it's like, yeah, they are eventually, but not yet, and it's not Halo yet. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And I try to explain to them, yo, you can just get Game Pass, you can just use the cloud, but all that stuff, it's just I'm overwhelming them with things that they don't understand.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This to me, I think, is a great step towards a general understanding for people that are like one step removed from being full on in a gaming ecosystem. But I also think it goes a long way for people that are multiple steps removed, where they see the you can get with this or you can get with that commercial, and
You can go over
it
there,
gets you
or
asking
you go over
questions.
here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the next step is they need to bring the games. That's been the Xbox problem for many, many years. But all jokes aside, we're at a point now that I think it's undeniable that look at the last couple months and look at everything that they have talked about for next year. It does feel like we are already in the point of game coming out from them. Least of which Call of Duty Black Ops 6, right? With Game Pass. So I feel like this marketing campaign, hot off the heels of the latest Call of Duty, I think it can be really, really effective. And I also think that it's important for two very different demographics that are key for Xbox, which is the millennials and then the youth. The Gen Z, the Gen Alpha. They don't want to be buying consoles. We're seeing that. We're seeing
Circana Group
drop-offs.
talks about this all the time in terms of the younger generations not being attracted to consoles. This is why PC gaming is getting a foothold. If I was going to get something, why not get one machine that does so many other things?
Exactly. And I think that it's like just, the education to the kids of you don't need this box to be able to play Xbox games, and build that up for them so that when Xbox is putting out monthly bangers or quarterly bangers or whatever it is, and a Call of Duty every year,
Game Pass and
all that stuff. It's like, all right, cool. When you hear the Xbox brand and you see a commercial for Gears E-Day or whatever, I think Gears is actually a perfect example of like that is a brand that is going to either for the young people potentially give them interest of, oh, I've never played a Gears game, but I know people love it, or for the millennial people of like, oh, I want to play the new Gears. It's been so long since I played a Gears. This looks great. How do I play it? And they've had at that point a year of this type of marketing explaining to them you don't need an Xbox, and hopefully that next step of them understanding what do I need is a quick Google away.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the thing, and I don't think the timing on this one is something to overlook, right? Obviously, we are on the forefront of Black Friday, where, of course, this is where all the video games go on sale, everything happens, yada, yada, yada. Traditionally, this is where you'd see PlayStation or Xbox push their boxes and try to get you to get in with a bundle or something or some reason there. Xbox pulls the trigger here, gets out in front of that, starts talking about the fact that you already have an Xbox because you're watching this on a screen that is an Xbox, right? Why push that way? They're about to drop Indiana Jones in less than a month, right? Mm-hmm. A gigantic IP that speaks to an audience that might not necessarily be your traditional gamer. It is your friends who have lapsed from high school that don't play games. It is somebody who's even older than us that grew up with Indiana Jones and is not ready to jump into the console market. So the hope is you see this commercial for the next 3 weeks, then you see the Indiana Jones, and you're like, wait a second though, didn't you say my Xbox or my computer is an Xbox or my phone is an Xbox or blah, 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 TV? And you get to look into it with the Google search and figure it out that, oh my God, it's on Game Pass. So for $16, I could play this thing and enjoy it. Wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think that it's the combining of those concepts too that I think is going to go really far for them. Thinking to how PlayStation has its brand identity marketing campaigns of the different kind of eras of PlayStation and like all the different things, it only does everything and the best place to play and like all the things that they've done. Those are usually like end cards on the commercials and trailers, right? Imagine Indiana Jones. You watch that commercial on. I use football as an example, but I think that's a great example.
Mainstream stuff,
mainstream stuff that people are watching that are video game adjacent. Like clearly an audience that is willing to buy and invest in video games, but isn't necessarily already doing that or currently keeping up with doing that. I feel like you show the Indiana Jones trailer and end it with that little. Everything's an Xbox. Like you could play it on. You can switch them up even. Like play it on your TV. Play it on your this. Play it on your that.
That would be the interesting way, I think, to really market this and do it right. Is that when the trailer ends or whatever it is and remember Xbox and it is the Indiana Jones gameplay going into a phone, going into a TV, going into a computer, right? Where if you have internet, you have an Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah. If you have an internet connected device.
That is a very hard thing to explain to people because you don't believe it. It reminds me of the Switch. You see the commercial for the Switch and you're like, that's cool, but No way it's actually that seamless. And it took people experiencing it, and it took yourself experiencing it to believe. And then all of a sudden people believe in what that is. I think it's just a very hard thing to wrap your head around because technology is advancing so quickly and the video game ecosystems are crystallizing to be this new modern expectation for how games are delivered and played. That I just think that there needs to be this kind of like check-in point of like, all right, everybody, this is a reset that everyone needs to understand how games are played nowadays, because it is radically different than it was even just a couple years ago.
Sure.
And I think now is that time. I feel like any time earlier would have been a little like jumping the gun. This episode is brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf. Y'all, when you take one good thing and you take another good thing and you mash them together, that is when magic happens. Kinda Funny loves Sonic the Hedgehog. Kinda Funny loves Topgolf. So you know Kinda Funny is hyped for Sonic the Hedgehog and friends to arrive at Topgolf at supersonic speed on Friday, November 15th with the launch of the new Topgolf game, Sonic the Hedgehog, exclusively available for play at Topgolf venues across the United States. Created for players of all skill levels, which is great for me, Topgolf meets the fast-paced action of Sonic in this new in-venue game where players go head-to-head in iconic virtual Sonic environments, Green Hill Zone and Sky Sanctuary. You can play as 4 iconic characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, to hit springs, collect rings, and destroy badniks. For players making the transition from a joystick to a club for the first time, Topgolf has your back with its new club, the Sure Thing, designed to make golf less hard. Come play around with your friends and family at a Topgolf near you and try out the new Sonic the Hedgehog game. This episode's brought to you by Marvel Snap. Y'all know Marvel Snap completely took over my life when it burst on the scene 2 years ago. I love it so much that I even mentioned Marvel Snap in my wedding vows because to this day, my wife Gia is so obsessed that she has not missed a single day of completing her challenges. Marvel Snap is an award-winning collectible card game that combines deep strategy, a unique snapping mechanic, and your favorite Marvel characters with thousands of unique card art variants created by renowned artists to collect and use. One of my favorite things about Marvel Snap is just how fast-paced it is. Each game only takes about 3 minutes, so it's always a great time to pop in for a game or two. New cards are released every week, new seasons every month, and frequent events keep the game fresh and exciting. Each game takes only 3 minutes, so you can get in and out wherever you are, and with more than 270 cards in Marvel Snap with over 2,000 unique art variants, you'll always find something new. Download the Marvel Snap app now, available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam, or visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Forget the boring gifts this year. Shady Rays makes finding something special for everyone on your list easy. With premium polarized sunglasses that bring both clarity and comfort, you'll be giving a gift that they'll appreciate every time they step outside. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice this holiday season. Every pair of shades also comes with lost or broken protection. If those shades ever disappear or get damaged, Shady Rays will replace them, no questions asked. Shady Rays makes gifting easy with a team ready to help with fast and friendly support. So, give the gift of quality, style, and worry-free wear this season with Shady Rays. Treat yourself or someone special. Go to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 40% off 2 or more shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, code KINDAFUNNY.
This is a big day for them to do this. This is a big statement. And I think for so many of us, we can scoff at it, laugh at the commercial, make the jokes that we're an Xbox. Nice they're leaning into the merch or whatever. They know it's a goofy slogan to a degree, right? Yeah. But it is the idea. We've all known this for a long time. But we've also said on this show for a long time, tell the audience, tell mainstream, tell other people that. And so, yeah, now it is this idea of like when you go through there and you see, shout out to them for showing different handheld devices, right? I know yesterday Phil was in the news confirming, even though it's years away, an Xbox handheld, but then here to show multiple handhelds running an Xbox, right? And streaming games that way. Making the case for that, but then also using the phone and also using the stuff. They're saying what we've told them to say. They are, putting into action the plan we've seen them building for so long.
Yep. And taking it one step further there too. I was saying this a bit yesterday when we were covering that story, but There, and in the same way that I feel like there's incredible value in the education of these streaming services and just different ways to play games to the mainstream, because that is such a giant market and audience to be able to continue the growth of video games, especially getting out of this slump that we've been in the last couple of years. But I do feel like the bridge between console and PC is getting closer and closer, which is a great thing for all gamers out there to have options to be able to play games and more places and platforms of value to have developers be able to put games, to be able to have a big enough install base of people buying their games, even potentially buying their games, that audience. And I think that the portable PC gaming market, while small right now, is going to continue to grow astronomically in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And I do think that when all said and done, 5-10 years from now, it's going to take up a sizable chunk of the market. I don't think it'll be near a majority, but I do think it can reach upwards of 10%. And that's very impressive. Like, that is, we're talking about tens and millions of people that could then result in even more money. So I think that them Xbox marketing themselves and talking about Xbox showing the ROG Ally is very, very, again, core to building the future, so that when Xbox does put out their own portable, people expect it and understand what it is, and that it might not work how the PlayStation Portable did or a Game Boy did back in the day, but it works in this modern way with everything in conjunction. I just think this is great. I'm a big fan of them, and I feel like this has been needed, and I've been saying they need the education. I think this is it.
Again, like I've said it multiple times. I include I always say myself, but I include you and I include us. Like, kind of funny. I mean, we really are Xbox fanboys. Like, and I don't mean it in the way that we can't see the mistakes they make because we point them out all the time. It's the fact that I want them to do well. Xbox has been for years now doing something interesting and doing something different, and they're doing something interesting and doing something different because they lost. Let's not like.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to mince words and act like, oh, they chose this. No, they lost a generation, and it was, as Phil has said, the worst generation to lose. So they're like, to see a company being competitive and trying to keep up and then pushing technology in a different space. I'm selfish, but as somebody who loves handheld gaming so much and loves remote play and now loves the cloud, like, they have been building an ecosystem that I feel is built for me. Like, when my Starfield obsession, I have talked to Andy, I've said it on shows, but like, the thing of, man, I'm playing it here at work on the Xbox Series X on the stream. Now I'll play it at the S at my desk. Now I have a little time at home while Ben's I'm playing it on the cloud. Now I'm going to go downstairs and install it on, I remember, Andy, I can install it on PC, right? And run it. He's like, yeah. Install it on this PC downstairs to see how good it could look. And like, the save's just there. It's all just there. It's all just working. Everything's connected. It's like, that's really fucking awesome and impressive, and I want them to do well, and I want them to have the games to back it up, and I don't want them, to have a rough go of this. We've seen so many layoffs in the Xbox ecosystem this year, right? And you see them dealing with these mergers and acquisitions, and then having extra people or having extra redundancies, and that fucking sucks. But I want to see Xbox be in a healthy place to push things forward through their own thing, and if inevitably the future is something like this, yeah? Like, we are seeing a diminishing returns on selling a box, PlayStation included. We see it now with the PlayStation Pro, people not being thrilled with what they're getting for $700. What does that look like in the future? I like that Xbox is pushing the boundary that way and seeing what that can be. I like Game Pass. I like Xbox making deals with indies to get their games in front of people to supplement the Xbox big games they're making. Like, Xbox makes a lot of interesting moves. They also step on a lot of rakes and fuck up their messaging and do this here and there, but it's also because they're able to talk. PlayStation says jack shit. So when they lay a bunch of people off or close the studio, like, I guess that's just what they're doing, versus you go to Xbox and Phil said something a year ago that made it sound like that wouldn't happen, or you wouldn't put the games there, blah, blah. Like, they are trying to stay competitive in a marketplace, in an industry that traditionally turns like the fucking Titanic. Like, they are trying to actually be nimble in a space that is hard to be nimble in.
Yeah, absolutely. And will that pay off, or will it ruin the industry? We'll have to wait and see.
We will.
Because Game Pass, I have a lot of concerns about, but
Sure.
I agree with the sentiment that you have.
Give
there.
me Avowed. Let's fucking go.
We got Manny
Move
Bagel Boy.
up the date.
Manny Bagel Boy Sanchez super chats in saying, I think the Xbox handheld would be the next gen of PC handhelds, because at the moment the portable PCs are Xbox already, which is why I think it's years away. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I do think that we need to just kind of have that clean entry point. I do think when Xbox puts out a handheld, it needs to work. It needs to work well. It can't just be like it's a okay device, but there's better options. It's like, and there could be better options, but there can't be clearly better options at a similar price point and all of that.
This needs to be the PSVR 1. It's good enough. It is not the highest of the high VR specs, and you could go and spend a whole much more. This one works. It's plug and play. It does what it needs to. The experiences are good.
I think it needs to be more than that. I think it needs to be like, I don't even know if I can compare it to a VR system necessarily. But perhaps the Quest 3 or something, where it's like it solves a lot of the problems that have existed already in the previous versions. Because I do feel like there are a ton of, I mean, in this commercial they show the Ally, right? Like there are already things that do this and do this well. So I think Xbox needs to do it in some ways the best because it is inherent Xbox hardware.
Well, yeah. And that's the biggest thing for me. And I think what'll be the make or break for this thing is that I just want, and I know this sounds stupid, stick with me, a portable Xbox. And I want the portable Xbox experience. And I know that I'm going to sacrifice teraflops and 1080p's and whatever. I know it's not. I know I'm going to be getting, I assume, something on par with the S, which is terrifying as we get further and further away from the launch of the S, but I assume that's what I'll have in my hand or whatever. Maybe I can dock it and get more. Maybe I
mean,
don't.
these are still lofty expectations. So
that sucks.
Badass.
But my thing is, I just want it to turn on and work and be an Xbox. I love my Steam Deck. I play my Steam Deck a lot. I've been playing it more than ever, honestly, right now. But I still have these moments where I turn the fucker on and it doesn't boot the game right. Or it does boot the game and then it's jaggy and running shittily, and I'm like, you're in indie, you shouldn't do this. And I go into the settings, and I'm like, this is above what I know, so I'm turning on VSync, I'm turning off VSync.
These are all things they gotta
not
figure
at his
out.
fucking desk to tell me what to do.
Yep.
And then what do? I get a code on PlayStation. I play it on PlayStation. Caravan Sandwich. Can't wait to talk about it.
Caravan Sandwich, everybody. And then Foxy Steve says, with every screen being an Xbox, my question is, does Microsoft really need to release their own handheld, or can they just piggyback off an existing handheld? I mean, we've kind of touched on this, but I do think the move, the pro strat here is get it right, figure everything out on what exists, and then put out your own that makes it the simple answer for people that don't want to deal with any of the stuff. And it's just, this is the best way as an entry point for Xbox stuff. You're always going to be able to tinker in other places and spend more money. I do not think that I think a core thing for the Xbox handheld is it needs to be cheap.